All right, YouTube. So today's video, we're actually talking about a solution to my last video that I did yesterday. If you haven't watched it, it will pop up here or here towards the end of the video. So watch that video if you're still confused about what we're talking about. But I'm going to recap for the first about 30 seconds to 1 minute of what that video is, so you'll understand the context of this one and how it actually can help you. So yesterday I made a video on the Sigma new offering from Sigma for Sony E-mount, which was 100 to 300, 100 to 300, good one. That's Canon. See, you guys are already keeping me, sane here. It's actually the Sigma 300 to 600 f4 lens. Pretty incredible offering that's actually coming out of Sigma for the Sony E-mount. Having said that, there are some things that you need to be aware of, which is you can only do 15 frames per second, especially if you have a A9, A9 II, a A1 and a A1 II body from Sony, including the new A9 III. So it's going to be kind of restricted to what you can do until Sony really decides to release, sort of in a firmware update, the full potential of that lens on that system. So what is this video about? This video gives you a commonsensical solution to how you achieve the same results staying in the Sony ecosystem without any kind of restrictions at all. So with that, let's just get right into it. What am I talking about? I made a video probably about close to 9-10 years ago when I first started this channel. It's no longer up. A lot of the videos were removed. Having said that, that video circles back today again to have the conversation, which is there are certain lenses that actually have a place that that you must kind of really understand, and if you really don't, and let me just lower this reflector a little bit, and if you really don't, what's going to happen is you're going to go down this path of spending all this money trying to get not only just image quality, but that shooting experience that you could have gotten had you just given it a little bit more thought, not running after just a zoom lens. And let me tell you what that is. So I'm going to teach you in this video how you can achieve the same result as that Sigma 300 to 600 for almost the same amount of money. Most likely, maybe even have a better lens made by Sony themselves, right? And the flexibility of it. So let me get right into it. What is it? I'm going to grab a 300 millimeter 2.8 lens. This is not the Sony one. This is the Canon one. Same thing. If you have a metal bones adapter onto the Sony system, you could do the same thing. Nothing different. But the concept is the same. A 300 2.8 has a place. Very few brands make it. So Canon RF, Canon, if you're listening, where's my 300 2.8? A replacement of this. We need it, right? Why? Because it's incredible for fashion runway. It's incredible for, commercial photography. I mean, I shot so much stuff with this that actually ended up in Forbes, and those pictures were actually shot on this very lens, right? So it's been with me a very long time. Incredible, super sharp, right? Even from back in the day. So Sony actually has a 300 2.8 G Master lens, which is $6,000. Why am I talking to you about that when you got Sigma from 300 to 600? You can do all of that. Hang tight till the end of the video. It'll make a lot of sense. For $6,000, number one, you're getting a G Master quality lens, which is the best of the best from Sony. Number two, there are no restrictions. Number three, it has dual linear motors in it. Number four, the biggest one, it only weighs about 3.2, 3.3 pounds. It's not 9 pounds like this guy, which is a 600 f4, similar to the Sigma, which you can handhold for about 20 seconds, but beyond that, it'll be foolish, right? So what's the solution? And sorry, I'm actually doing this live. The solution is simple. We get a 300 2.8. We can put a 1.4x on it, Or better yet, we can put a 2x on it. So now you're going to say, but Amar, hold on. It's not the same. Is it? You're right. I bet you the optical quality out of this setup is probably better than a zoom. Why? Because at the end of the day, the amount of elements you have inside going on, that's adding to that 9 pounds of bulk. Number one, you need to now go and actually invest in at least $1,000, $1,500 tripod. You can't use that Peak design like a little toy. You need a real tripod to hold 9 pounds on there. It's a lot of weight, especially if there's wind going on. That's another problem. This guy you can handhold anytime, no problem. And you could literally stick a 2X on there, like that. Now this becomes a 600 5.6. But hold on. That's not the same as a 600 f4. Exactly. You're correct. However, this still weighs under 3.5 pounds. Right? If this is a new Sony lens. You're talking about 2/3 additional weight that you got to carry. And then mount it somewhere. And then leave it stationary. You can't be doing this anymore with your mirrorless camera. That's the problem. And the best part, this setup, if you get this from Sony, it has no limitations. 30 frames per second, everything that every one of their top of the end flagship cameras can do, it can do it. This is a common sense solution. If you don't want to do 600 millimeters and, oh, I want to be able to zoom, but I don't always want to be at 600. If I had that 300 to 600, I'd be at 600 all day long. I wouldn't be hanging out. But that's me. Maybe this floats your boat. So right around 400 something f4. You have an option. Just take it off whenever you want. But if you get into like sunset and it's really, really getting dark, now you have the ability to shoot a 2.8 lens out in the field. And with the A1, you got plenty of resolution to crop. If you really want to put into crop mode, you can. But you know how I feel about that. Cropping in camera versus doing it in post, they are different. So you pick your own poison. However, there's an option for you. So I wanted to give you this common sense video because I don't want you to think that, hey, Sony doesn't have any options. They do, but they're very smart into, again, I'll use the word, crippling their third-party lenses because this is exactly what they want you to do. And it makes sense. I would. I mean, it's probably better because I don't always want to carry 600 millimeters worth of elements in there when I only really needed to shoot 300. If I'm shooting fashion runway, I'm shooting 300. If I had that Sigma lens, I would have to carry all that extra 6 pounds for no reason whatsoever. So pick what you're shooting, how you shoot before you buy these things, right? So I wanted to make this for you. Yesterday, I gave you a problem statement. Today, I actually gave you a solution. That's what we're going to head down this channel moving forward because honestly, it's pretty clear. Not everyone really wants to learn about photography. They just need to, understand gear. So maybe I'll help you at least make more sound decisions with your gear rather than getting frustrated buying lens after lens after lens and still not getting and achieving the results that you really want. So with this, if you did a 300 2.8 and then you added, teleconverters to it, I think you have a golden opportunity here. It's, in my opinion, in my book, it's better than walking around with a 300 to 600 zoom. And I'm a firm believer in that because I have the ability to go to 2.8. Then someone will say, well, you can do that with the 400 2.8. Absolutely. 400 2.8s are absolute gems in the wildlife photography world. The people that really know wildlife inside out and are very serious about it, they're the ones that buy the 300 2.8s than the 400 2.8s. And obviously the 600 f4s. But the 400 2.8 is incredible because if you put a 2x on that, it puts you at 800 5.6. And yes, these lenses, when they're built to use high-power teleconverters that are extremely well made, not some shitty Kenko crap out of wherever. This is like made by Canon. If you use a Sony one, don't use third-party, teleconverters. Buy the 300 G Master lens, and then buy the Sony teleconverters, and you will have no problems whatsoever. It will work fantastic on there. Having said that, these telephoto lenses are made with such high precision that the image quality loss, I don't know what a lot of people talk about. I've used teleconverters for over 25 years, and people, they love those images. So anyone telling you that, oh, you lose this, you lose that, no problem. It takes 2 seconds in Lightroom to add sharpness. Who cares? Get the shot. Don't worry about the sharpness. You're worrying about editing before even taking the shot. Take the shot. Figure out the editing later. That's what professionals do. Make it happen, and don't restrict your shooting ability, especially if you shoot a flagship camera from Sony. I would not do that. You didn't pay that kind of good hard-earned money on some of the best camera tech from Sony to actually sit there and put a lens in front of it that can only do half the speed of what the camera can actually do. So the solution that I just gave you will solve that problem. So if you haven't watched that other video, watch it up here or here. It'll pop up, and go to town so you can really understand how they actually cripple these things. So with that, I hope this video was actually helpful. If it is, share it with everyone out there that's looking to buy one. And I hope you will have the opportunity to watch this video before you actually put in your order. Instead of putting the order for the new Sigma, I'll put in the order for the Sony 300 2.8. I'll leave the links down below and use them. From B&H, get it. They have it in stock. Get it and try it, and you'll be kind of stunned at what you actually produce, especially if you have an A1, A1 II, A9, A9 II, A9 III, those type of cameras. If you have those, I think you'll end up with some incredible results. So with that, like, subscribe, be nice to each other, go out there, create your magic, and I will talk to you in the next one. Thank you.